ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Retro Gaming with Hopper, and as always, thank you for watching. Today we're going to continue working on Scorpion. We're going to replace the bottom, this bottom panel. You know, I don't know, somebody's got it kind of crudely put in. They changed it and broke all the rabbet joint all the way around it, so it's just kind of got it kind of screwed in. It's got a hole in it here and kind of some blowouts. Looks like somebody was hitting it with a hammer or something. I don't think that's the original bottom, but hell, it could be. I do know that they had to break in to unlock the door because the keys were missing, so this may be the original, but I don't know, looks kind of chewed up all along in there, unless it's where they were prying on it trying to remove this and they ended up taking that off, because you know it kind of does look like it's the original bottom. Has the vent holes and the speaker, but I think it looks like hell because of the hole, and so we're going to go ahead and replace it. You know, instead of that cardboard board, we're going to use a piece of Luan, what they call Luan, which is really just a real thin piece of plywood. So we're going to get that changed out before we even get started in the back box. That way, once I get everything all hooked up, we don't have to take it all apart to put a bottom in it. Let's get the bottom in first, and then we can start working in the back box. So let's get started on putting a new bottom on this. Okay, got the bottom all taken off. There's a new one. There's the old one. You can see how nasty that thing was. And the corner blowed out and a couple of punctures. And they were trying that. What they were doing is they broke that corner out, pulled the bottom down so they could get it in there and take the screw out of the back of the lock. See, first they tried prying on it, got it all bent to heck. The door doesn't look, well, a little bit. Kind of hard to tell, it's kind of dark down there. But anyway, that's what they were doing, is they pulled that apart so they could get up in there and undo that screw out of the lock. Now there's only a couple of the pads here that are left that are really good, but we can glue all along the edge here. Like I said, the rabbets all broke out, so we're going to have to glue this bottom in, and hopefully nobody ever has to change it again. This centerpiece, this center board, we will glue a shim on it so it's even with the edge of the plywood here. That way I can glue and nail that sucker all down too. And then once I have the new bottom down in it, then we can lay the old one up on there, and we have a pattern to mark out for the vent holes and the speaker. So that'll work out pretty good. It needed it. It needed a new bottom put in it. It wouldn't have taken much and that bottom would have fell off. Like I said, they just did a quick repair. They just dumped a ton of glue in there and hoping it would hold, and threw a couple nails and screws in it, and then sent it on its way to some lucky unsuspecting buyer, which is me. But we're gonna make it whole again, and a nice machine. It'll turn out good. So next, let's get this bottom all glued, and I'll shoot some brads in it to hold it together while the glue dries, and then we can start working topside on it after we cut her holes in it. But it'll be alright. We'll get her fixed up. So let's get that bottom put in. Okay, folks. Got her all back you out a little bit. Yeah, I got the bottom in. Got the nice two vent holes up top. Speaker holes all cut. And put the studs in to mount the speaker. Now she's ready to be flipped over, and we can start putting it back together and get that speaker put back in and solder the wires back on it. Put the little grates over those vent holes. We have a couple of these little grates that go on the inside. They come up further to the bottom. Put a screw in it, both sides. And then for the speaker, you lay this down first underneath, like so. And then mount your speaker. Well, is he filthy? I'm gonna get him wiped off first before I put him on there. But it's coming along. We got the bottom in it anyway. That's all glued and bradded down. Like I said, I shimmed the centerpiece here so I could actually glue the bottom to it and stiffen that bottom up a little bit more. The only reason I want it stiff is so when you put a pinball jack underneath of it and jack it up, you're not gonna, you know, shove the floor up through the machine. It's got to be kind of sturdy anyway. You're trying to pick up that big old machine, especially a wide body. A lot of weight here. But let me get her flipped back over, and then we'll start working on the guts. Start get the speaker and the grates put back in it, and we'll be ready to start moving on to something else. Okay, we got the bottom all put in, speakers put in, and the little grates on the vents in the back. Those vents are just to let some heat up through, you know, some air to come up through. The grate are just some vermin, to keep the vermin from climbing in here and chewing up the inside of your pinball machine. And same with that one, so the speaker doesn't get damaged and so the vermin don't climb up in there. You need the vents, because there is a little bit of heat that comes out of the back box. So you have your vents all crossed here. The air can come up through the bottom or come up through right below the back box. It can come in and vent out through the top. Or if you have like heat rises and cool air sinks, your cool air will sink down, drawing air down through and pulling heat out, or same thing, it'll push it up through the top as the heat rises up through the back box. Oops, here we go. Up through the back box, it'll rise up and it'll draw in cool air and just keep your boards cool. That's all those are for. You need a little bit of ventilation just so, you know, some of the heat can escape, so you're not building up all the heat in the back box and your back glass will end up getting too hot. So, you know, so on and so on. I didn't show you much about putting all the bottom in and all that. You know, that's pretty cut and dry, whatever, you know, I'm sure enough people have done that. But it looks a lot better. It's going to hold up a lot better. And so now let's get this put back together. Get the back box on it, and we can start getting everything all plugged back in, and then we can start working on our electronics. Start going over the boards and making sure everything's okay with them before we plug it in. So let me get it put back together and we'll go from there. Okay folks, we got it all back together. I got the head unit put back up on it, playing field down in it. Got everything all plugged in, ready to go. So that's what I've got today. I figured I'd do a quick short video of me, of what I had to do to the bottom of this to get it readied before we even start working on anything topside. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do on these machines to get them going. I mean, it's a lot better now with a bottom in it. The old bottom. That's one of them there old bottoms. We got, that was, I would have left it alone, but we had this corner blowed out and some holes poked through it from when they were trying to get into the machine. With that hole in there, now you have a problem with maybe one of them there little vermins getting in there and building a nest in it. So you got to keep them buttoned up so you don't get any problems like that, where somebody's trying to make a home out of your pinball machine. Because boy, can they be destructive when they get in there. They get in the bottom and they can jump up and they can run up them wires and get in your back box and really have a hell of a time back there and really screw things up big time. So it's better to put the new bottom in it, and that way we know we can't get any of them there little vermin in there and dropping vermin turds all over the place. So if you like the video, hit the like button right down there, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you look in this description and check out my links. I have a couple of links. There's an Amazon link down there and a couple other ones. If you go to any of those sites and buy something, I get a small commission, especially from Amazon. I get some of Jeff Bezos' money, and everybody wants some of his money. I mean, even his ex-wife got some of his money, so why can't we get some of it too? So, and it helps keep the channel going. We get a little small commission, not much, but it's something that just helps getting these old machines back up and running, and so everybody can enjoy them. So until next time, see ya.